field. I've bought a weeder so I can weed the field, because you can't weed a field with a hoe. I bought a round baler and a square baler so I can do all of the baling contracts. And it's all, yeah, a thing. So I can now do all of the contracts that are available in game. I don't think I added... I think I added liming contracts, but then I found that if you limed a field, it then bought out a contract to cultivate the field. And if you cultivated the field, it added a contract to lime the field. And it would just get stuck in a lime cultivate loop, which was a little bit silly, so I dropped the lime contract mod. Although I think they improved it since then. There's a lot of stuff, you know, the mods come out, there's a couple of glitches, they get fixed. But I am going to look at loading a bunch of more scripting mods for my next playthrough. So like I said, if I go September and say I'm going to start a new map, I'll find a map that I'm comfortable with that has potential, and then I'll review all of the more recent script mods and see which ones I like. So things like the moisture mod, which I did try out and it didn't work well at all when I tried it out, but it's improved. And some of the others, I will take a look at those and say, yes, I will include those. They did have realistic animals, but I think the modder just got annoyed with some people and just said, yeah, I'm done. Because that's the other thing with people who play the game. They're just like, oh, I want my modder to do a thing. You need to fix your mod, it sucks, blah, blah, blah. And the modder just says, I'm doing this for fun and I'm not doing it for you. And you're being obnoxious, so we're kind of done. Okay, this should be $8,000? $6,000? Can't remember. Might be 12. And done. 6,000 plus 6. Actually, we're doing better than 10% on the everyone is a great driver until there are multiple shift levers. Ah, yes. I would probably have issues with that. Although, what's really surprising is, so I got the Subaru as my first car when I moved to the US. And I only bashed my hand against the driver's door twice. And that twice was, I parked in a parking spot at a grocery store. And I'd got in the car, I'd reversed it out, and because I'm looking over my shoulder to reverse out, and then I reached out to shift it into forwards as I'm turning back to face the front windshield, and I punched the door because the stick's on the right and left. But I only did that twice, and after that, a lot of people would think that if you go from left-hand drive to right-hand drive, driving on the left to driving on the right, because the drive is on the opposite side. So we are, in America, we drive on the right-hand side of the road, but the car is a left-hand drive because the steering wheel is on the left side of the car. So make of that as you will. Going from one side of a car to another, you would think that driving a stick would be a problem because the stick's just on the wrong side. I took to it naturally, except when I really wasn't paying much attention because I was reversing out of a parking spot, and it just got confusing for me. But I only did it twice, and then after that it was just natural again. The other time I did have problems coming to America was when I visited back in the mid-90s. And I was here on business, so the company I worked for got me a rental to drive around. And I drove a motorbike as my daily drive in England. And I came over here, and for the first week, whenever I was on the highway, the passenger wheels would hit the rumble strip between lanes, because I ride a motorbike. You ride in the middle of the lane. You don't, sit one side or the other. And it was just, I'm in a car and I'm sitting on the left-hand side of the car, and not exactly natural for me. But and I think for the first couple of days I was tired and jet lagged, so I am not interested in a bike. Must admit, when I first came over here, it was kind of, I'd like to have a bike, but I've now got a wife. She doesn't like riding on the back of bikes. And the first month, I'd driven my Subaru for 2 weeks, and some guy went past me sideways on the shoulder, and then his tyres gripped and smashed into the front of my car. And it took a month for them to get the parts to fix it. And at that point, I decided I'm not so interested in getting a motorbike here, because people are just crazy. And over the course of the last 20 years, 25 years, people have got more crazy. They just don't pay attention. I drive the way I want to do, and everybody else needs to just get out of my way. Now, my first big bike was a 650. What do they call them? Flat twin BMW. But it was like 8 years old, and it was tired. And my employer was starting to want me to go distance to visit places, and at that point I decided, the 650 doesn't do highways. I can do 70 miles an hour. I've got a couple of miles an hour on top of that, and it's dangerous if someone's coming up behind me at 100. So I traded it up for a straight 4 BMW K series. Really nice bike. But someone pulled out in front of me, kind of soft damaged the shoulder, so I don't get to, I rode it for about a month, I rode it for about 6 months, but it was getting progressively more and more painful. So it's like, I'm going to get a car, which was a shame because I paid off the bike. And then I paid off the car, and a year later moved to America. So, but coming over here, it's like driving in California is, people don't know the rules of the road. I mean, it's like stop signs are optional. Red traffic signals are optional. Flashing lights on a train crossing are optional. It's like, I don't want to put myself in a bike because I will be dead because of all these stupid people. And so, I kind of relish the somewhat security that a box around me provides. Although that said, I watched a video of stupid drivers, I think it was last week, and they're driving down the road, they're turning left, there's a car coming the other way, they slammed into the other car and rolled it. And, the person in the other car ended up having to be taken to the hospital. I don't think they were too badly injured, but it's like, Could you not see the car coming the other way? And it's probably a case of, yes, I can see the car coming the other way, but I'm going for it and they need to get out of my way. Seems to be the attitude. Oh, and I've seen, yeah, you see the car drivers doing stupid with trucks. It's like, do you not understand that A, the truck can't stop an 80,000 pound load in 2 feet, and B, when he hits you, you won't be walking away from it. I also wonder how much of it is illegal immigration, and the people who are coming from foreign countries are just getting in a car and driving. They're not, they don't have the proper license, or the issuing authority said, oh, you're too dumb to pass a test, we'll just give you a driver's license so you're legal. Yes, I am a little bit, can't remember what the word for it was, but yes, I am one of those, and cynical. But you look at the way people are driving, it's like, did you actually pass a test? I saw someone, one video, guys driving on the wrong side of the road, just driving on the wrong side of the road. It's like, he probably comes from a country that drives on the other side of the road. And everybody's flashing him and swerving out the way, and he's just driving on the wrong side of the road. And it's like, either you do that naturally, or it's intentional, or I don't know. Yeah. Oh yeah, because of all the Minnesota truck drivers, California truck drivers. But I guess one thing I will say, riding a motorcycle teaches you to drive defensively. You are on alert for absolutely everything. And that never leaves you. A friend of mine, actually my first team leader, he could not drive a car. He'd never taken a test. And so he just rode motorbikes. And he was of the opinion that before anybody gets into a car, they should drive a motorbike for 2 years. Because it gives you a whole new understanding about the laws of physics and rainwater and leaves on the ground and all sorts of interesting stuff like that. Manhole covers in the middle of a corner. And he said if more people had to ride a motorcycle and live, I think he was a proponent of Darwinism. If you can survive riding a motorcycle for 2 years, you can drive a car. So, but yeah, it's... Hi, what's happening?
Nothing.
Oh, okay. Yeah, as far as I can understand, there have been moves to rescind operator licenses for people who can't read English and never actually took a proper HGV test, which is going to put more strain on the trucking industry because you're actually going to have to pay someone who can do the job and he's a professional and competent. So, yeah, lots of interesting things. Oh, on the matter of competence, oh my goodness, the English. So, I don't know what's happened to the British Navy. It's stupid. they had, oh, we need to send a ship to Cyprus to provide air defence because Iran. And it took them a week to take the scaffolding off the ship, recall the crew and get it back into somewhat operating order. It then took them 3 weeks to sail it down to Cyprus, and when it got there they had to put in for a service because their freshwater purifier failed. They've threatened they threatened Russia. So Putin started sailing warships and submarines down the English Channel and around English waters. And the media in England are all saying, oh, British Navy needs to stop that. It's like the British Navy don't have a rubber dinghy to try and stop a Russian warship. No. I put out a comment on one of the videos that says, I don't think that the British Navy has been this weak since an ancient Celt hollowed out a tree trunk and made the first canoe. It's like the British Navy can't do anything. Yes. I did have a friend, I can't remember what he was, I think he was driving a 911, Porsche 911, and the cop pulled him up, and there was an older cop and a younger cop in the car. And the older cop walked up and he said, yeah, you were speeding. I'm going to have to write you a ticket because I got the young kid in the car. Ordinarily, I'd have just given you a warning because I want to take a closer look at your car. So, yeah, he ended up having a ticket written and then let go. But I think the older cop copped him for a lower speed because it's like, I don't get to see many of these. I want to take a closer look at this one. So. They will help sometimes. Okay, so this is the last tank of methane. I think we're now at 10:30. Yeah. But you have to train the kids somehow. Anyway, so how are we doing? It's 10:40. We've done all the field work. I think I'll get the tractor back to the farm. We'll park the trailer up. For 329,000. Nearly 322, so this should put me on about 328. And I think we'll sleep a few days. How is the store doing? Oh. Used equipment sold off a bit. 328. Oh yeah. Almost 329. And Farm 7, I do not pay attention to stop signs. Do pay attention to flashing lights though. No train. I actually got the achievement for having lots of equipment. Can't remember which one that is, but that was the last achievement I got. I got that for buying the case 7200. That can come up to bite you sometimes if you do that. Oh yeah, well, yeah, as people say, Animal Farm 1984, they're not handbooks, they're warnings. Unfortunately, a sizable portion of the world population looks at it and says, oh, that's a really good idea. It's like, no, it's not. You have to study history, and not the sanitized history that most schools teach. You actually have to look at how and why things happen. Yeah, the common thing with a certain painter from Austria. How would somebody vote for somebody so evil? Look at the situation, not the person. And it tells you everything you need to know. The manipulation that people believed, the actual desire to have an outcome. Star Wars, Emperor Palpatine, before he became Emperor Palpatine, the Senate still existed. You look at the manipulation, you look at the goal and the way things were being presented, and it's not surprising to see how that sort of thing can happen. I mean, it's exactly, yeah, and it's something that I am very conscientious about. The whole, Donald Trump is a dictator. He's not, but he's going after Democrats. Yes, he's going after Democrats who committed crime or have allegedly committed crime. And that is the point. It's not that he's going after them because they're Democrats. He's going after them because they're criminals. And they went after him and accused him of crime that they were committing while he was president the first time round and in the intervening years. And it's like, you brought it on yourselves. You started the whole, what they're calling lawfare. But it still worries me that maybe he is. And so whenever anybody steps forward and says, this is what I want, because I know what happened in mid-century Germany, it's like I'm going to question it far more, but I'm not going to jump on the bandwagon that says, oh, absolutely, he's just another Hitler. I'm going to say, I need to be careful. This situation could go bad, or it could be absolutely fine. And I don't know, I don't have the foresight to know which way it's going to go. Okay, I think I need to check animal feed first. That's about a quarter. That's about a half. We can go a month. Yeah, we should be all right. Okay, so let us sleep till tomorrow. 7 o'clock, that's a good time to sleep too. And, you know, you've just got to look at the whole thing with Iran. I don't know what the president knows, and I don't need to know what the president knows. And you just have to question, but in some ways trust. Ooh, that's cool. I think this is a black sheep tractor. Good size, good starting tractor for a starting farm when we start the next one. Okay, let's check the food again. That's still good. That's still gonna last us. That's still good. That's gone down about 150. So the weeding contract went away. What's going here? This is, we've got loads of stuff. Oh, not that one. We've got loads of stuff. So, okay, still good. I'm gonna sleep another day, but I might need to feed the animals. Indeed. Let's go another day. I think I'm probably going to have to feed the cows. And then we'll see